Good evening and welcome to LeBray High School in Leavittsburg, Ohio for tonight's Division III District Championship game between the number 1 seed Newton Falls Tigers and the number 2 Berkshire Badgers. This is Steve Hare with OhioVarsity.com, and joining me again tonight is Tim Persick. Tim, I thought we had a pretty good game on Monday night, but this one is shaping up to be even better and even more intense.
That's right, Steve. I think that the teams are raring to go here. We're watching them throughout warm-up. Everybody's excited. The crowd is filling in here, and you can feel the excitement in the air. I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, no doubt. Newton Falls comes in, obviously 24-0 as the top seed here in the district, ranked number 11 in Ohio in Division III in the last state coaches poll that was put out in mid-October. Berkshire comes in with a record of 19-5, the second seed in this tournament, and ranked 16th in Ohio's Division III. Co-champions of the CBC Valley Division, and the Tigers come in as the champions of the All-American Conference. Both of these teams are dominated pretty much by really outstanding seniors, but they have a lot of depth as well. And we can start with the Badgers since, as we mentioned the other night, you have a lot of knowledge about them, having coached them in 2012. But it starts and stops with Sydney Mighton. That's
right. She's really the big gun on the offense there, but she gets a lot of help from McKenna Tusick, who is basically, they bookend the lineup as opposites and left side hitters. And so if those two get fired up, I think that they'd give anybody a run for their money. So
yeah, you mentioned that tandem, and Sydney Mighton, the senior, and McKenna Tusick, the sophomore. Mighton comes in with 260 kills. McKenna Tusick has 204. So between them, they're pushing 500 kills. That's a big challenge for the defense and the block. What do you have to do as Newton Falls to kind of slow that down?
Well, you basically have to use the block to direct the hitters into your defense, towards your libero or your defensive specialist, so that you have the best chance at returning it. And likewise, we saw it in the last game with Cardinal, block them enough that they start thinking about tipping as their first shot, only hitting in the open lanes. And if you do that, hitters like Sydney Mighton, are very intimidating when they're cutting loose. You take a lot of bite out of their hits if you slow them down to 5-10 miles an hour as opposed to 50 or 60.
Right, and Newton Falls has its share of talent as well, and I think it starts with number 12, senior Gabrielle Klein. She comes in with an amazing 340 kills, 44 aces, 64 blocks, and 70 digs. So it looks like she can do a little bit of everything. She's tall, she's got the height, right. She's explosive when she's up at the net. I got to see her play, obviously, on Monday against Kirtland in the district semifinals, but also in the sectional final against Mineral Ridge. And I thought Newton Falls looked a little bit sluggish against Mineral Ridge. They obviously amped things up against Kirtland in that sweep, and were pretty dominant in that match. And, if they can show up the way they did on Monday here against Berkshire, this is going to be an outstanding match.
That's right. And I think Berkshire is in the same predicament. They got to show up with their guns blazing, too, in order to make this a match. I don't think anybody's going to give anything away tonight. I think everybody's going to be scratching and clawing for every point. And I think we're in for an excellent match.
We talked about the seniors. Berkshire's senior class comes in with a record of 61-35. This is their second district final appearance, so that experience could come into play tonight as you get down into the nitty-gritty and those close matches.
Yeah.
Newton Falls on the other side is 71-22, but this is their first district final and only the second time in 4 years that they made it out of the sectional, while Berkshire has done it 3 out of the 4 years. So I think experience is on the side of the Badgers. Talent is probably even across the board, but let me throw out some numbers to you. Berkshire came in with 69 sets. Newton Falls played 71 this year. Berkshire has 749 kills. Newton Falls has a whopping 1,033.
That's huge.
How much of a difference can that make tonight?
Well, kills are intimidating any way you look at them, and with that many more, it's definitely, there's some disparity there. Some of that could be with how many, 5 games matches they had, which also pads the stats a little bit, but in general, that's a pretty big disparity, and that's not taking anything away from Berkshire. That's just saying that Newton Falls has a pretty aggressive offense there.
And these two teams are no strangers in the postseason. They have met in each of the last 2 years. Newton Falls beat Berkshire 3-0 last year. In 2013 in the sectional semifinal, and in 2012, Berkshire won 3-0 in a sectional final, and then all the way back in 2002, Berkshire beat Newton Falls 2-0 in the sectional final. So Berkshire has the advantage in head-to-head matches in the postseason at 2-1. But, tonight Newton Falls is looking to even things up, and Berkshire's looking to take that next step. And that's the other thing I wanted to talk about is it's very strange to come to this district and not see Gilmore warming up right now. Obviously, the Lancers moved out to the Elyria district where they will play for a district championship tomorrow night against Independence. And that move left the door wide open for one of these two teams to become the first public school to advance to regionals to win this district since 2005 when Chagrin Falls did it, and that was back when this district was held at Burton. So it's been a long time since anyone but Gilmore has won this district tournament, and tonight we're going to crown a new champion. It'll either be Newton Falls or it'll be Berkshire, and one of them will advance to the regional tournament for the first time in school history.
And that's saying a lot. I mean, you can't take anything away from Gilmore because they were a powerhouse team. They're well known all over Northeast Ohio for their ability to play, and they've been to the state championship a few times. But you're right. It's at this point the funnel is coming to to the tip, and you got to the best teams are going to make it off the net here and move on to the next round of playoffs.
Yeah, I think the key here coming in for both teams really. Volleyball is such a game of momentum. I mean, obviously talent and skill and scheme comes into play, but when you have two teams that are this good, that are this evenly matched, who is going to get off to the fast start? Who's going to come out without the service errors? Who's going to put the ball on the floor? Who's going to do all those things and make all that good stuff happen early on to steal that momentum?
Right. And a lot of pressure, too. Like you said, there's none of these teams have been in this position where they can win and move on, or that one of them is going to move past the brick wall that was Gilmore. And so I know that the girls are excited and they want to make that happen. And so there's a lot of pressure to keep a cool head, but still still have a hot hand, to deal out the big hits, to make those key digs and passes when you need them most.
Yeah, I cover Independence, so I see them quite a bit, and I know Megan Osisco. They got knocked out of the regional tournament 2 years ago by Gilmore. And so seeing Gilmore come over to the Elyria district with them, I know she wasn't real thrilled about that, but they'll go head-to-head with them tomorrow. They played earlier this season. And, Gilmore won the match 3-0, but it wasn't a 3-0 match, if you understand that. I mean, it was just It was a competitive game. Gilmore just had more at the end. So Independence has the ability to get it done. Now coming out and, keeping that deer in the headlights look out of your eyes to start the match is going to be important for them. And then coming back here into LeBray, these two teams and these coaches here had to say, wow, the door is open for us. Let's have a nice run and get to regionals. Unfortunately, the first game at regionals is likely going to be Gilmore Academy if they beat Independence.
But the great thing about volleyball is the only score that matters is the one at the end of the match. And,
no doubt.
And whoever can pull it off here is in for a wonderful ride.
All right, and now we're just about ready for the national anthem. So as that starts, we will pause and let you tune into that and also listen in for the team introductions. And as soon as those are over, we will be back and ready to get you through this match.
David Warren. The student athletes, coaches, and officials are guests of the OHSAA and are requested to treat them with respect, keeping them ideals on the sportsmanship. Now let's meet the coaches who will lead their teams to this important match. First, for your visitors on the scoreboard, the Berkshire Badgers. They are coached by Jessica Lonyak and supervised by Kevin Hart. The important team on the scoreboard, the Lady Tigers, are coached by Christina Baker and assisted by Tony Hushauer and Mark Baker. The running starters for the Badgers, junior number 5, Kate Dingman. Junior number 9, Brianna Pennypacker. Junior number 24, Sam Hargis. Junior number 13, Anna Lovell. Sophomore number 15, Bridget McMahon. Sophomore number 16, Casey Singleton. Freshman number 18, Madeline Carver. And freshman number 22, Olivia Friday. Non-starters for New Falls. Sophomore number 4, Savannah Wilcox. Sophomore number 9, Elizabeth Boone. Junior number 11, Ashley Sendak. Sophomore number 15, Ashley Cooley. Senior number 18, Natalie Georgiades. And sophomore number 24, Heidi Howell. Now, let's meet the starting 6. First for the Lady Badgers, senior number 6, Captain Sydney Martin. Sophomore number 7, McKenna Houston. Senior number 10, your captain, Jessica Conklin. Sophomore number 12, Sarah Conklin. Freshman number 14, Madison Chapman. Senior captain number 40, Mia Monroe. And senior Libero number 23, CJ Parker. For the Lady Tigers, starting junior, the Libero number 1, Autumn Hudson. Senior number 2, Captain Dave Wainwright. Junior number 6, Olivia Head. Senior number 12, Captain Gabrielle High. Senior number 14, Lindsay Ola. Junior number 14, Dana Barrera. And sophomore number 33, Isabel Klein. Congratulations to both teams for making it this far. Tonight, let's get ready for some tournament volleyball.
All right, Tim, that's our cue. We're back.
Yeah.
Ready to go. The intensity's amped up. I love the music, the introductions. Nothing left but play the game.
That's right. Stirring rendition of the national anthem always gets the heart pumping. But we got to stand here and talk about the game. I want to go out there and play.
I saw you jumping around
Yeah.
taking selfies.
That's right. I want to be here, part of this historic moment for these high school players.
For one of these teams, it will be historic. It'll be a first district title, first regional appearance. And looking at the student sections, I got to give the edge to maybe Newton Falls, just by a couple. It's pretty close. A lot of black and orange on our left and purple and gold on our right.
Yeah, they brought both sets of bleachers out, so the crowds are a little bit bigger but more spread out. But I'm expecting a lot of thunderous applause and cheering and whatnot.
Well, again, we talked about coming out fast. Who's going to be able to generate that momentum early?
Yep. I think right now it's going to be important, as it usually is in any volleyball game. You got to keep the blockers of your opponent honest. So to come out swinging from the middle, holds that middle blocker. If you can convince them that you're running that middle.
You know, keep an eye there on number 12, Gabrielle Klein. Again, 340 kills this year. And then on the other side, number 6, Sydney Mighton. Number 7, McKenna Tusick. Those are the big guns for each team. It's Autumn Hudson on the serve for Newton Falls. And right away, Sydney Mighton with a nice little tip.
That's right. I think she's saving her shoulder for a little bit later here. Maybe, possibly setting up the defense here to get thinking about creeping in.
Well, I think they're just adjusting to what Newton Falls is throwing at the net right now. C.J. Parker serving for the Badgers.
Excellent pass.
Oh, and there's Klein. Nice up by Tusick.
Sydney's open.
And there's Mighton. Oh, boy. And there's Hudson showing why she's wearing that libero jersey.
Right. And a net violation called by the down ref there on Newton Falls. So the ball is still for the Badgers.
Parker with the serve. She's got 36 aces this year. Klein looked like she missed that one a little bit. Came right back at her. Oh, nice back set.
And that was a great set by Mia Monroe on the Berkshire side, finding the open hitter. Newton Falls didn't adjust quick enough to put a block there.
Yep, and Jessica Conklin finished it off.
Yep.
Again, we talked about this on Monday, but and there's a miss by Klein. That's big.
That's a couple in a row, and the nerves might be getting to her at this point. But again, this is part of the game. Games aren't generally this big and this important, but she's going to have to find a way to break out of that little funk.
All right. We talked about that momentum, and right now it's all on the side of the Badgers.
That's right.
Oh, look at that thing float and drop.
Yeah.
There's Klein. Oh, and she found the back line.
Right.
I was going to say, if Berkshire scored another point, I think we would have saw a timeout out of Newton Falls.
That's
but
right.
They don't need it. They got that point.
Yep.
A heck of a serve there by Kate Wainwright.
Yep.
She leads the team with 44 aces.
Blocked by Sydney Mighton.
Oh, Chapman might have got away with a little bit of a tip there.
No, they called it on
Yeah.
The corner judge on Newton Falls side.
Yeah, I was about to credit her for getting up there and getting the block.
Right.
Yeah, she skied on that one. She was up there. Oh, that thing was floating. Boy, there's a miss.
And from this angle, you really get to see it. We talked about it a bit in the last game. From the sides, you don't get to see how much that ball moves. And a float serve, which has very little, if any, spin on it, has the knuckleball action that just dances all over the place.
That was a rare service error by Newton Falls. They're at 93.9% on serving percentage. Oh, Mighton powers that one down.
Again, splitting the block, and you can almost see it in the block from this angle as well. It's a lot of ground to cover for that middle blocker. She has to first wait to make sure there's not a quick middle, and then slide out to the outside to help her outside blocker. On that one, she was a little late, and Sydney Mighton was able to split between her and her partner.
Oh, a little mistake there by Olivia Hedge, tipping the ball out of bounds.
I think she was expecting the blockers to be there and hoping to tip it off their outside hand, but that didn't work out on that one. That was a violation on the part of the libero. Oh, she called a double hit. I was going to say the libero can make an overhand attack. I thought the handset was okay, but...
and there's the timeout.
There's the timeout, that's right.
8-2, Newton Falls trailing the Badgers, and they called timeout to try and slow down that momentum.
And so far, it hasn't been any side really asserting their dominance as much as Newton Falls seems a little bit, a little stiff. You know, they got to loosen up, let their offense take a few swings.
Right. Well, we saw in there already. We saw the service error, which
Right.
when you have a 93.9% serve percentage, you're not making many mistakes there.
Yeah.
You saw Gabrielle Klein with 2 hitting errors. That doesn't happen often.
Right.
So, right now it might be nerves. It might be a little bit of the pressure, and that's one thing that coach over there, Christina Baker, has got to calm the team down and get them playing their game.
That's right. And on the other side of the ball, Berkshire Badgers can't get complacent. They're not. Newton Falls isn't going to play this way the entire match, so they got to be ready for a little thunder and lightning here from Newton Falls.
Right. For those of you watching at home, send me a tweet at Ohio Varsity, and we will get you a shout out on the air. There's a block by Madison Chapman.
They called a double hit on the set. It was a pretty good call. I know Lisa Sanders, the up official, is very particular about the way she likes to play, and I know she's also very fair.
Klein with the tip. Nice play by C.J. Parker to get that ball back up.
That time the block closed, and you could see that.
Madison Chapman, that's a big block.
Right, and that was a mano-a-mano solo block there, the kind that you want your players to have if you want to in a game like this.
Klein probably has a head on Madison Chapman, about a head taller than her, and Chapman got up there. That's that jumping ability I talked about.
That's right.
Oh, nice left-handed kill there by Lindsay Holub.
Yep, she just put it off the outside hand of the blocker. That was set more towards the inside of the court, but it hit the outside blocker and trailed out of bounds before the defender could make a play on it. Another service error.
Yeah, things just aren't going well for Newton Falls right now. I don't think a timeout's going to change that. It's just the girls got to get their heads in it. They got to get some adrenaline going.
We're sending a free ball to Berkshire. Let's see what happens with that. Oh, Mia Monroe was trying to do a little setter dump, catch him off guard.
Yeah, and those are tricky too because you can get called for a carry a lot of times. You make contact a little bit too long.
That's right. The setter usually comes out of the back row, but in a 5-1 scenario, she plays 3 positions in the front row and can hit the ball over directly.
Koreka just powered up on that one. Got the point for the Tigers.
And the roll shot just over the block, and you can see it from our angle. It's difficult to say how deep that ball is going to fly into the backcourt or it's going to drop in front of the 10-foot line. That time she left it short, and it was a great play right into the hole in the defense.
12-5 Berkshire. Everything seems to be going their way. There's Chapman with a nice jump serve.
Great spot by McKenna Tusick. And I think you could see right away that the passing differences between the two teams, Berkshire's Mia Monroe doesn't have to leave that inside the 10-foot line there, whereas Newton Falls, they're having trouble getting it to that position. The setter has to chase the ball a lot. Oh, chicken wing that one over.
Is that a volleyball term, chicken wing?
Yes. I think it's in the rule book. You can check.
Tusick with a nice dump there.
Yeah. They're finding all the holes in Newton Falls defense here, and Newton Falls.
There's a second timeout.
That's right, and you may as well take them now and try and stop the bleeding while it's an easier recovery.
Well, you're down 9. You can't let it get any bigger. Already, it's going to be very difficult to climb out of this hole.
Yeah.
I have the servers that can do it, but right now you've had 2 service errors already. Girls are feeling the pressure. The momentum's all on the other side of the net right now.
That's right. But a momentum breaker would be to string a couple points together, get a big hit in here somewhere for Newton Falls, and that could turn things around pretty quickly. Volleyball is a sport that's all about where you are mentally in the game, and if you're feeling any doubts, it shows in the way you play.
So put your coach hat on. You're in the Newton Falls huddle right now. What are you telling me, girls?
I'm just telling them to stay focused, stay calm, be brave, hit a couple of shots, go, swing for the fences a couple of times. Because, it might go out and you're no worse for the wear, but if that hits in, it might be the spark that your team needs to get the ball rolling. Yeah,
well, it's important to note that Newton Falls hasn't been in this situation much. Obviously, they're 24-0, so they haven't been beaten. But in 20 of their 24 wins, they swept the match, so they haven't lost many sets.
Right.
There's a hitting error right there.
And it's good to see the teammates patting her on the back because, letting her know they got her back, because it is a lonely feeling when you hit the ball out.
That it is.
And the Berkshire Badgers are just digging everything.
Oh, Tusick. Wow. Big time hit right there.
We might have to silence the mic so you don't blow a speaker here on that thunderous hit.
They might have to check the inflation of the ball after that.
Don't tell Tom Brady.
Boy, that was a big hit right there. We talked about it all night on Monday. I mean, she gets so much air.
That's right.
And then there's so much power. She's so long. She got those long arms, all that leverage coming down, hitting on top of the ball.
I mean, it almost looks like she's jumping in slow motion, but she covers a lot of ground, gets so high up there. And the down official called Newton Falls for stepping over the center line, which is a violation, and it's a side out going to Berkshire.
17-6. Mia Monroe on the serve.
That's the kind of pass that
Back
Newton Falls
step,
needs.
Bereka, blocked by Tusick.
Yeah, the block is huge for Berkshire right now. Newton Falls is really struggling to find a solution to this problem.
Yeah, and we talked about that earlier with the number of kills Newton Falls had coming in, 1,033. They average 14.5 kills per set, and right now Berkshire's all over it.
Yeah. And a little hesitation on the defense's part. Who's getting that ball? That slight momentary hesitation may be enough to, derail any of the best intentions. And again, Newton Falls has to loosen up, make these plays.
As we talked about earlier, Berkshire is in its 8th district finals appearance with 0 regionals appearances. So I know the Badgers are hungry. They want this one bad, and it shows.
I believe their coach was on one of those winning teams. If
that she was.
So I'm sure she's given them a whole history lesson on Badgers volleyball, as if they didn't know already.
Yeah, I know Jessica Roniak over on the sideline. She wants to feel that winning feeling after a district final as well.
Great pass by the Badgers.
And somewhere Joni Protz is saying, why couldn't Gilmore be in the other district when I was coaching?
That's right, that's right.
Because she made many district finals appearances.
Many, yes. Off the antenna out of bounds. Again, you see Newton Falls is struggling to put that pass on target. They need to get it to the slot, which is just to the right of their of center in the front row, so that their center can, at least fake or imply that there's more than one option on the set. When it's off the net, you pretty much are limited to who is close by.
Block goes out of bounds, and right now, it's all Berkshire.
Yeah, and conversely, Berkshire is getting the set right where it needs to be. Mia Monroe is hardly breaking a sweat running to the slot there, and she's distributing the ball, to all the hitters. And you can see the difference in the score.
Floating serve there by Tusick.
That was a good shot. There was a big opening on that one side. The Berkshire Badgers shifted over expecting a line shot or a tip over the block, and she fooled them with a cut shot across court. Jeez.
Well, here we are, first set point.
Yeah, and Sydney Mighton had a little trouble with that pass, and C.J. Parker just set her right up on the net to put that down.
C.J. Parker on the serve.
So going point.
And there it goes. First set goes to Berkshire, 25-8.
And it was a dominating set. It's kind of hard to see, to say that Newton Falls was really firing on all cylinders in that game. They were having trouble passing the ball, like I said, in front of the 10-foot line, and their hitters were hitting very tentatively. Now, if that changes in the second set, we might have a completely different result.
Right, no doubt they made a lot of mistakes in that first set, but you got to hand it to Berkshire. A lot of those were forced errors.
Yes, and Berkshire, like I said, they're picking up on defense. They're passing it right to the slot when there are options for your setter to go quick middle, strong side, weak side, or dump it over. Or even, they ran a couple of stacks with a back row player hitting it. It's very difficult as a blocker to digest all that, what's happening in front of you, who's going to hit next, and then making your break to make a successful block.
So Newton Falls, a little bit of regrouping taking place in that huddle. I think the first thing you've got to say is calm down.
That's right.
You've got 4 more sets to play. All you got to do is win 3 out of the 4.
Yeah, and it's hard to convince people of that, in this situation. But these athletes have been through it before. I'm sure that they've been in games that have been lopsided. But you come back and you build off of whatever successes you had and keep working towards a successful result. So it's hard to do, but they didn't get this far, without knowing how to do that.
Right, and I believe in 24 matches, I believe they lost the first set just one time. So. Yeah. They've been there before, not often, but they have been here, and now they just have to do what they've got to do to regroup and get things going. And again, it's got to start quickly for them. They can't come out in a hole again, because once Berkshire gets that momentum, you see how they react to it. And they feed off of that.
And to your point earlier, Berkshire's student section's filling up pretty quickly here, so I don't know if they're at a disadvantage anymore.
Yeah, I agree.
And unfortunately for Newton Falls, they're going to have an earful of the student section every time they go back to serve.
That they are. They're in Berkshire territory now. But it is the same for both teams. The student sections are directly across from each other.
Yep.
So when Berkshire was serving, they had the Newton Falls student section in their ear. And now it's the Tigers' turn.
So the Berkshire Badgers have to come out sharp if they can stay, keep the momentum going. I think they have a chance to, get a jump on Newton Falls. We'll see if Newton Falls has a different game plan in mind, if they switch out any players or at least any strategy here.
Well, I think you've got to stay with your strength, and that's got to get Gabrielle Klein going in the attack department. But the problem has been they haven't been able to handle the serve. They haven't been able to handle the Berkshire kill. Everything's been off. They haven't been able to set it where they want it to go.
That's right. And they're not off by much. It's just in volleyball, inches are miles. And when, little twist in your body when you're passing can send the ball 20 feet away from where you intended it to go. And so the players are lined up now. And
Chusick will open up with the serve.
And another wonderful floater there.
Another miss by Klein.
Yeah. She's hitting the top of the tape of the net with the ball, and it's just not, trickling over. Sometimes you get lucky and it rolls over, but not that time.
Look at that thing dive. Those are tough to play. There's a block by Conklin.
And the call on the follow-through, the hitter hit the top of the net. It's a net violation, point to Badgers.
So as I stated just a couple minutes ago, Newton Falls couldn't afford to come out and let Berkshire get out to an early lead, and here we are, 2-0 already.
But as you said also, that Newton Falls is sticking with their big guns.
Look, I'll tell you what, when things are going well, you can miss-hit a ball and still find the floor. And that's what happened for Conklin. She was about to kill it going there. I think she changed her mind midway and just kind of hit it off the edge of her hand. Right. But it still found the floor.
That's right, but there was a pretty big block right in front of her, so it was a smart play.
Yeah, I think that's why she changed her mind. Yeah. She saw the block and read it correctly. So here you got Wainwright. This is your best server. 44 aces on the year coming in. Just a floating serve.
Tipped to the deep corner, great up.
Boy, it looked like she gave up on the play, though, thinking it was out of play.
Right.
You got to get your head in the game. You got teammates.
That's right. That's another good hit by Sydney Mighton, but Sydney Mighton's play prior to that sent the libero from Newton Falls into the corner. It was almost like she had the ball on a string. About the time it was about to hit 30 feet, it just dropped like a rock and was heading for that corner.
Oh, no tip?
It doesn't appear so.
Wow, looked like there was a tip on that ball.
Yeah. But, there again, now the Badgers offense is going for these quick middles. This is really going to be a nightmare to handle for the blockers.
And that was quick. That was a nice quick set. Chapman finished it, and I thought there was a tip on the ball, but I'm way up here.
Right. You're no official, Steve. Oh, wow. There again, and from this angle, you can really see the hitter's options. That the middle blocker is jumping up, and she can only reach so much of the ball, and she's got to set a block so the defense can line up behind her and make a play. But that back row attack by Tusick was just too much curve and too much in the right place for them to handle. A little confusion on the offense there.
A little tip by Chapman this time. Oh, and there's Klein.
I was going to say, that's the hit that Klein's known for, and she had an opening in the block.
Gabrielle Klein, welcome to the district final.
That's right. Problem is now she's in the back row serving, so hopefully she can do something from back there.
Well, she's got 44 aces, tied for the team lead, so she can do that.
Wow.
But boy, when you feed Sydney Mighton and she's got open space, she is going to find it.
The coach is yelling at the blockers right now to do something. Don't just stand there and watch. Leave that to the audience.
Sometimes, though, those hits are so pretty you want to watch.
Right, exactly. Wow.
Look at that serve.
That was going under the net and over the net.
Jeez. So Sydney Mighton with the power hit, the attack, puts it down on the floor, and then she comes in and serves that. Crazy.
Yeah. Oh, still alive off of Mian Moreau's face.
Isabel Klein. Berkshire with a powerful shot.
Oh, what hustle. Oh, not enough on it. That was a great up by the Berkshire defense, but just not enough to get it over.
Newton Falls has to earn every point.
Yeah,
and that's a good sign for the Badgers. That means they're playing well, they're doing what they have to do and executing.
And a great heads-up play because the ball was blocked off the setter's, Mian Moreau's face. And that's still a live ball. It's just one of the contacts, and they were paying attention enough to play that ball over. I believe it was Chapman put that ball in.
Tusick finds the corner.
I have to say, I thought the real difference would be how hard Berkshire was hitting, or would be hitting in this game. But right now, they are just placing the ball.
It's finesse.
They're repainting the lines on this court with their shots.
Well, I got to say, I think they came in understanding that Newton Falls came in with 164 blocks.
Right.
So, obviously they have the height over there. They can block. So Berkshire, their strategy looks like it's, find your places, pick your spots.
And there again. They are challenging the defense of Newton Falls to pick those balls up. They're dropping them right in the center on the 10-foot line. That's the big hole in most defenses. And until Newton Falls does something to stop that, Berkshire is going to keep going back to that well. Again, Newton Falls are not able to set that ball over cleanly. A little bit extra handling by the person sending it over makes it double contact in the ref's eyes.
Yeah, we're at 10-4 now. I got to think a timeout's coming if Berkshire scores another point.
And I think it'll happen right about now.
You get the ace there from Brianna Pennypacker. And Christina Baker's going to let it ride.
Oh, yeah,
she's going to make a substitution instead.
It's just subbing out the libero, who's generally your best passer, so she's trying to mix things up a little, putting Klein back in there, who's
well, as I talked about earlier, Klein has 70 digs, so she can play some defense.
That's right. And again, this is a mental game. You have to, and there's the timeout you were looking for. You have to keep your head in the game at all times. It can't be, you can't be thinking about something else. You can't be worrying about whether or not the score is in your favor or not.
(12-4), Berkshire up 1-0. Badgers are in good shape. I certainly didn't expect this much dominance to come out of either team tonight, but Berkshire brought it. They came in early. They established that momentum. They got things going. They've set up their offense. Their defense is on point, and they're serving.
Yeah, and they're certainly, like you said it earlier, they're not letting Newton Falls get anything for free. Everything is a hard-earned point, and it's, they're doing a great job covering the entire floor because Newton Falls is doing the same tipping that Berkshire is, but Berkshire's picking it up and dropping it right on the setter's head so that she has easy distribution to whomever she wants. So it's a fantastic job so far on the part of Berkshire. And, if the hitters start lighting up the scoreboard, it may, that may be the momentum swing that Newton Falls can't recover from. So they got to do something right now. They're making a substitution now for Klein and putting in a defensive specialist.
It's Elizabeth Boone, a sophomore. Just got word from Coach Fish out at South Range. South Range defeated Crestview 3-0 to win the Salem district, so congratulations there.
And Chapman's going right after the new person in the back row, which is usually where the coach will send you. If somebody comes in off the bench, they're a little bit cold.
Right, welcome to the match.
Exactly.
Look at that thing just curve.
Right. And again, we have a unique angle here where you can actually see that ball dance. And, if it turned any more to the left, they would have to use a turn signal.
I mean, if this was baseball, you'd be talking about that being a dropping curveball, but going away from a hitter.
Right. And what draft pick that hitter is going to go in, or that server is going to go in.
There's Isabel Klein, just a little bit too overeager there and got a hand into the net. 15-4 Berkshire. Look at that.
Wow, it just cleared the net too. And Berkshire's right back there ready to hit it back. Oh.
There's Bareka getting a point for the Tigers.
But again, two Badgers right in the vicinity. It actually touched, I think, Mia Monroe, and she more or less hit it away from Pennypacker, the defender right behind her. So bad break for the Badgers, good one for Newton Falls.
This is sophomore Ashley Gulling on the serve for the Tigers. And another service error.
Wow.
Again, you come in almost 94% in serve percentage. And what is that, 3 service errors now?
At least, it's maybe even 4. And this is indicative of nerves. It's very easy to serve the ball in. You don't have to serve it hard to get it in. You just got to serve it over. And I think that Newton Falls is a little bit on their heels, a little bit stiff, and they just need to string together a few points.
Well, there's one by Lindsay Hola who put down the kill. That's she had 125 coming into the match. So, obviously with 1,000 kills coming into this match, Newton Falls has the firepower to get it done. They just haven't been able to execute.
That's right.
And there's Tusick, boy.
Again, it was a mishit by Tusick, but she's going up on no block, maybe a half a blocker because somebody was swinging in there late, but Newton Falls has to do something about that.
I'm not going after that block. I'm getting out of the way. So I don't blame those people on the other side of the net there.
Yeah.
I see her jumping up and her full body's up over the net. Yeah, I'm getting out of there.
That's right. There it is again, off the block. Oh,
you got to play that ball.
Yeah, a little hesitation there. And again, this is a game of inches in many respects. And if you hesitate for a split second or you don't give that extra effort every single play, things like that tend to happen. Again, it's an off the net pass, and it's hard. Klein was able to put it away there, but it's hard for her to take a full swing when the setter's setting from 15 feet off the net and trying to get it to her. And you can see that the Berkshire blockers are camped out on Klein. That time they split up a little, gave her a hitting lane, but generally speaking, they've been pretty close. Another service error. Wow.
Again, if you're listening in at home, send a tweet my way at Ohio Varsity, and we'll give you a shout out on the air. I know Taylor Frazee and Sam Bailey from Kirtland are out there. Hornets fell to this Newton Falls team in the district semifinal on Monday. Great season by Kirtland. There's Klein. Chapman with the block.
That's right. I mean, there you can see right away that they're trying to get the ball to Klein. They're trying to get her to put the spark up. The problem is that Berkshire knows it, and I think everybody else in the gym knows where it's going.
Right.
They need Klein to get ignited here, but
right, and all she can do in those situations right now is tip. So,
right.
I mean, if you're Jessica Roniak, that's exactly what you want to do. You want to
Right.
take the ball out of her hand, basically.
Right. And there, I think Klein is feeling the pressure, being a little tentative. If she can snap her wrist and put that ball down, I think she'd have a different result. But in this situation, with the score as it is and with the amount of reliance her teammates are putting on her, it's very difficult. You know, it's a difficult task for anybody.
C.J. Parker on the serve for the Badgers. She's a senior, lefty. Puts a lot of movement on the ball, and you can see it as it goes and bounces off the back wall there. 22-8. Newton Falls has a timeout to use. I don't even know that she'll bother.
Right. The serving of the Badgers is just crazy good right now.
Well, that was one of the keys I talked about earlier.
Yeah.
They came in with the aces. And there's Conklin with the kill. Well, I can tell you this. Newton Falls has never been down 0-2 in a match this season.
Yeah. It's unfamiliar territory. Oh, great up by Tusick. Again, it was not a bad hit. It was a lot of velocity, but the Badgers seemed to be waiting for that ball, and they popped it up. Sydney under rotated on that ball, put it in the bottom of the net, but you know that's a rare mistake on her part. So Newton Falls has to keep chugging along here. They got to start building up a rally here if they have at least to get their spirits up for the third game.
Yeah, one thing I know for sure is Berkshire obviously comes into this match with more experience in big games. You look at the four teams that made the district semifinals here. 3 of them were from the Chagrin Valley Conference.
Right, right.
Berkshire beat Cardinal. They were co-champions in the league, and Kirtland fell to Newton Falls in the other district semi.
And the Cardinal game was no laughing matter between Berkshire and Cardinal. That was 5 games of just intense volleyball. They are sparing no expense getting Klein the ball, I tell you what. And that's asking a lot of any player, but they, you know, if that's that was their workhorse, and they're trying to get her to start things up. But the Badgers are, you know, it's almost 6-on-1 at this point.
Yeah, I'll tell you there. That was a hard-earned point for Berkshire, but it takes it pushes their lead to 2-0 in the match, and I'll tell you what, it would have to be an awful collapse to see Berkshire drop this one. And
right. Hey,
they're just
you know, whenever they say in football that the kicker hasn't missed one for 40 yards yet.
Well, this isn't a field goal. I mean, this is total dominance right now.
Yeah.
They've got everything clicking, you know, serving, defense, offense. They're moving to the ball. They're hustling around, and Newton Falls just has that look in its eye that, hey, they don't have an answer for the Badgers right now.
That's right. That's definitely what I'm seeing too. And again, they're erratic with the passing. The blocks aren't closing. I mean, we had several where Tusick and Mighton are hitting completely uncontested at the net, and that's not going to end well for the opposing team.
No,
occasionally those hitters will make a hitting error, but you can't rely on that for your offensive scheme. So the coach in Newton Falls is no doubt trying to, you know, get her girls to rally. You know, it for as tough as this road is ahead of them for the next game and potentially 3 if they can pull it off. It's what volleyball is all about. You have to have that hope. We don't go to 5 games because it's impossible to, you know, win 3. We go to 5 games because the chances of winning 3 are going to be, you know, are part of the game.
In doing some research on Newton Falls, I read a few previous game stories, and in every one, Coach Baker was quoted as saying, "We just take 1 point at a time, one match at a time," and this is that they've got to be in that situation right now. You can't worry about being down 2-0.
Right.
All you can do is look ahead and say, okay, we're going to win the next point.
Right.
And then the next one and the next one, and before you know it, you put a few together, and you know now you're back in the match. But they definitely have to start executing. They have to start playing their game. Right now they're playing on their heels. They're reacting to what Berkshire's doing, and Berkshire's doing it well.
Yeah, and really to turn the, you know, a few, you know, to get a rally going, really what they need to do is make a, you know, a key block, a key dig, and, you know, get a kill. You know, when I coach, I always say just get a block or a dig to start us off. And then you get the server going back to be a little bit confident, to make her serve. I think this is part of what they're missing right now is they're not able to string 2 or 3 plays together to get any kind of a run going against Berkshire. Not that Berkshire is going to let them, but
right.
It's what they need to do. And I don't sound too much like an expert saying that because I think everybody in the gym knows that that's what they need to do. But it's easier said than done, I guess.
Well, here's a shout out to Mike McGovern on Twitter. He said, "Go Badgers." Follow him at Michael McG02. Michael McGovern, thanks for the shout out there, pal. Go Badgers.
And the Badgers, by all indications, are on their way to a historic finish here if they can hold off Newton Falls in this third set. Sorry, I don't want to be presumptuous.
Once again, the winner here will win the Leavittsburg Division III district title and head off to Barberton next week, and they will play the winner of the Elyria district. That will be played tomorrow night. That'll be Gilmore Academy and Independence. And there you have it. Yeah. Newton Falls with its first lead, and that's right. All it takes. It starts with 1.
And that backslide was a little too far outside. You had to cut. Conklin had to cut it sharply across the net, and that's very difficult to do from that position. But Sydney Mighton takes care of business on the next play, and again, when you look at that, when you know Sydney Mighton or McKenna Tusick is going to clean up anything that doesn't go well for you, you can take a chance on a slide or a quick hit in the middle because you can recover from that.
It's nice to have that in your toolbox.
That's
when
right.
You're down a point or two, you can set to Sydney Mighton or McKenna Tusick and get it right back.
And here, as if on cue.
Boy. They have some weapons over there, that's for sure.
At this point, I'm sure Gilmore is pretty interested in the outcome of this game for obvious reasons, but they got to...
I'm sure they're all at home watching right now.
Right, and they're
tuning into OhioVarsity.com.
They're probably getting a little bit nervous when they're seeing how the Badgers are playing right now. They're certainly not giving much in the way of free points to Newton Falls. And against Cardinal, they played an awesome game. And the pancake.
Oh, wow.
Sydney Mighton with the pancake, which is basically putting your hand between the ball and the floor and making it as rigid as possible to bounce that ball up. There just wasn't anybody there to clean it up for her. So great effort. It's a last-ditch effort, really. Conklin with the tip. Sydney Mighton with the put down. As long as that ball is in the plane of the net, meaning some part of it is crossing the net, even if it's, one atom of that ball, Sydney Mighton has rights to it. She could throw it back on Newton Falls' side.
And she did.
And she did.
Not much you can do with the set there. Too far out in front. Klein did get her hand on it and made it a little bit more difficult to return. There's Chapman rearing back.
Yep.
Nice up by Parker.
And the ball's back to the Badgers now. Sydney Mighton plays it to Mia Monroe. Back to Sydney. She's tipping and digging. Wow. Might have to pull up a chair to watch this. Right. And it trickles over for the Badgers. And a little bit of frustration coming out on Newton Falls' side. Klein trying to rally the troops here. They're down, but they're certainly not out of it. They got to keep their heads high and keep their confidence up in order to get back into this match.
Penny Packer with a nice jump serve. Made it very difficult for Newton Falls.
That's right.
And they can't get it back over the net. I think that's where it started tonight, as Berkshire's serve has been on point. Newton Falls has struggled a little bit there, and then defensively they've had a lot of problems returning Berkshire's serve. Hasn't allowed them to generate any offense.
Yep. And I think when you look at it, there was probably about 6 or 7 service errors on the part of Newton Falls. That's a big lead to give to a team. Even if you split it between 2 games, that's 3 points that were unearned essentially. Versus Berkshire, I think they might have had 1. So there's a net difference in favor of the Badgers. Wow.
Madison Chapman hammers it home.
And again, a no block. They have the blockers guessing 100% here.
You know, in Madison, to Madison Chapman's credit, she's a freshman, but you know what she was doing last night? She was watching the on-demand video replay of the Newton Falls-Kirtland match.
Oh, no kidding.
You know, that's what you want to see out of a freshman, somebody that wants to watch, wants to do
study their opponents and know what to do. And it seems to be paying off here for her.
Yeah, she's had a great game with a few blocks, couple hits, couple tips, and then her serve is on.
Another good pass. As you notice, you know, these passes are a little confusion on the Berkshire side, but these passes are inside the 10-foot line, and when they are, the teams can do something with it. Newton Falls putting a couple points together here. This is what they desperately need,
yes,
so they got to keep going. And another service error by Klein. You know, this is a tough thing to recover from. They're still in it. They're only 2 points down, so they certainly can't be written off at this point, but they can't be making mistakes like that. And an ace on the serve there.
Hello, Coach Shinoski out there in Kirtland. And here's another shout out to Candace McGovern at Candace McG on Twitter. Says, "Go Badgers, love to the Conklin sisters." Well, right now the Conklin sisters are loving what's happening out on the court.
That's right.
Berkshire up 2-0. Badgers only have an 8-6 lead here in the third set. Make that 9-6.
Net violation on the part of Newton Falls. Again, untimely mistakes, untimely errors are really doing Newton Falls in. Great pass there by the libero. And the block just, again, Berkshire is not letting anything go for free. They are contesting every single shot.
Mia Monroe on the serve for the Badgers. This backs up. Oh, a little carry there on Wainwright.
Wainwright struggling a little bit, you know, with the setting. You know, the ball's a little sweaty, gets slippery, and if it spins in her hands when she goes to set, the referee's going to call it. Wow. And the put down by Chapman, she says, we'll have none of this. She just snapped around on that ball, put it down, I think inside the 10-foot line. She's playing like she's 6'8". Free ball to the Badgers. Let's see what they do. And again, Chapman wasn't able to get it over the block.
Heck of an effort there by Tusick.
The Badgers are taking advantage of the quick middles here. They got such excellent passing. It's so crisp right now that Mia Monroe is basically just waiting on the pass to get to her in the slot, and she can do anything she wants with it. And she's good enough setter to do exactly that. A little mishandling on the part of Newton Falls. It's a tough break.
And this one is quickly going the way of the Badger. The lead is now 6 points.
Ooh, you think the float serve is hard to handle.
Oh, Sydney Mighton on the block. Berkshire's just doing everything right.
Yeah, you know, if I'm the Gilmore coach, I'm shifting in my recliner right now as I'm watching this live stream. This is if this team shows up against Gilmore, there's going to be one heck of a game.
Well, I will tell you this: this team has to show up against Gilmore.
Well, right.
That's
that goes without saying.
Yeah, that's the double-edged sword. Gilmore needs Berkshire to come out not playing well. Berkshire has to come out playing very well, and if they can do that, they can make it a competitive game. Now, that's assuming Gilmore beats Independence.
Right.
I can't assume anything.
True.
I've seen Independence a lot. I have a lot of faith in the Blue Devils. I think they can get it done. They have to believe they can get it done.
I forgot about that. There is one more step. We're being a little ahead of ourselves.
Right.
We still have half a game to go here.
The only team I know that's in the regional so far is South Range.
Well, if the Badgers are going to play like this, they can take on anybody at any time right now.
Well, how about that? You got some LeBray kids fitting in with the Berkshire kids. Guess they're the front runners. If Newton Falls was winning, they'd be on the other side.
Right. Another excellent serve by McKenna. These things are dropping like they got weights on them. And Newton Falls, it just looks like they're playing down right now, and they have to pick themselves up. There's nobody else in this gym that's going to be able to rally them but that starting six.
Yeah, they're quickly running out of time and running out of points.
Just wide.
Just wide. That was an inch wide on for Lindsey Holub there.
It might have been 2 inches. I don't know.
We are far away. It looked
Right.
like an inch to me, but
Look at that ball. Holy smokes. That ball was going to the middle of the court until about hit the net height, and then it just took a hard left turn.
who was it before the game that said Berkshire had an advantage in the serving department?
It had to be me. I'm the expert.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, you did say that, Steve, and I give you credit.
Yeah, they certainly have been doing it at the service line. And when you can do that, it makes the game a little bit easier.
But again, look at the return of the pass.
Smart play there by Sidney Mighton.
Right.
Read the block.
And the middle hitter on that play went to hit on the outside to draw the middle blocker with her. And in comes Sidney Mighton hitting a 2-ball in the middle. And, you know, if with the trouble that Newton Falls is having, they're going to have a heck of a time stopping that from happening. And another free ball to the Badgers.
The Tigers are just all out of sorts.
Wow.
Wow, Madison Chapman. How many times have we said her name tonight?
Right. A lot. Too much for Newton Falls. She's just coming in there so quick, right out of the setter's hands, and that's the ideal way to run it.
19-8, the Badgers 6 points away from a regional appearance, the first in school history.
Conklin with the split.
Klein with the block.
Yep.
Just can't finish that.
Right. Couldn't get it off her hand fast enough for the ref's liking. Got called for a lift. But again, that's a great hit, splitting the block. It's like a pinball in there.
A lot of long faces there on the Newton Falls bench, but I'll tell you what, they've had a great season. Nothing to be ashamed of. I know they're disappointed that things haven't gone their way tonight, but 24-0.
Yeah, that's not exactly easy to do either.
No.
You know, every season you're bound to have an off night, and it stinks that tonight is their off night, but 24-0 is a tremendous accomplishment.
You know, and then on the other side, Berkshire is hungry.
Yeah.
You know, this is their 8th trip to the district finals, and they've got nothing to show for it except a runner-up trophy.
A few of them, right?
7 of them.
Yes. Oh, a little miscommunication there. But again, that's the miscommunication after a huge dig in the back row, somebody chasing it down and putting it back in the middle of the court, and they can't decide who the next person is to hit it over. They are just everywhere.
Got to credit the Berkshire fans out there. 474 cheers on scorestream.com.
Excellent.
44 for Newton Falls.
They're running X's and slides and quicks in the middle. They're running their outside hitter in the middle or the inside hitter in the outside. You know, they're just switching things up. It's hard for me to follow it here. Probably a nightmare for Klein and company on Newton Falls.
This has been a heck of a run for the Badgers. And I'll tell you what, in 2 nights, Berkshire's going to have another opportunity to
great up. Look at that. Diving completely extended past the ball.
Elizabeth Boone.
Yep.
Nice play for the Tigers.
Oh, but she didn't have enough on that one. Oh, my goodness.
As I was saying before, Boone's excellent defensive play. In 2 nights, Berkshire's got another opportunity to make some history. A win over Cardinal basically ensures that they will qualify for the playoffs this year in football. So
there you go.
Could be a big week for the Badgers.
Nobody's going to get any homework done this week.
No.
Mia Monroe has been standing flat-footed in the slot this whole evening,
just
receiving
out of bounds
passes.
There.
And I think they were trying to go to the quick on that one, and it was just a little high for the middle hitter, and Sidney Mighton was playing cleanup there, going for the deep corner, and just missed.
But that's a good point you make, that they were trying to go for the middle hitter. They recognized the block, kicked it outside. I mean, that's smart play, and that's why Berkshire's up 23-10 and 2-0.
That's right. Again, the front slide there by Sydney Mighton. She's hauled into the net or stepped over the line. I'm not sure which, but the call goes against the Badgers. And a slight glimmer of hope here for Newton Falls. Let's see what they can do. A great bump set to Sydney Mighton, and she's just powering it through the block. The block was there, and I think her hands just came separated enough to almost catch the ball and bring it back over to Newton Falls.
There it is, folks. The Badgers 1 point away. And you got your best server at the line in Sydney Mighton.
There was a little bit of a hit on the net there, but the ref let it go.
Berkshire will have to wait for that match point.
Well, it could be happening here.
It could.
And on the service error, of all ways to win it in this match,
boy.
Newton Falls just couldn't put it together in the serving department, which led to all kinds of other problems, and it's too bad.
It was a fitting end because Newton Falls came in 94% service percentage, and they struggled to do it all night.
Yeah, and so congratulations to the Badgers who pulled off a tremendous, dominating victory today. I don't think that, there's always a chance to win, but when you look at the scoreboard tonight, it almost looks like there wasn't. And Newton Falls, like you said, had a tremendous season. It's not the best way, to end one, but the Badgers were certainly not going to give any freebies out tonight.
No, they earned it tonight. I mean, they came out, dominated all phases of the game, got done what they wanted to get done. And that speaks volumes for the CVC because 3 out of the 4 teams in the district finals here or the district semis were from the CVC. Newton Falls ends its season at 24-1. Again, the long faces, the disappointment, the emotion there on the Newton Falls bench. But outstanding season for the Tigers. They'll finish 24-1. They were ranked 11th in the Division III state poll. But tonight,
just not enough.
It was Berkshire's night.
Yep.
The Badgers improved to 20-5 on the year. The co-champions of the Valley Division are the Leavittsburg District Champions. And we'll stay with you as they pass out the awards here. I think they'll be awarding the runners-up first.
And again, this is the same boat that Berkshire Badgers have been in.
Oh, yes.
As, from all those years when they couldn't get past Gilmore, they were in the same position. And
yeah, Berkshire's been here 7 times. They know what it feels like on that side. It's not a good feeling.
Right.
Newton Falls, they're in good shape. They've got 4 seniors, George Alice, Klein, Wainwright, and Holub. They return Isabel Klein, who's a sophomore middle hitter. She had 230 kills this year. You got Heidi Hawk, who 138 digs, 35 aces. Ashley Gulling was out there tonight. Kayla Bareka. So they've got some talent coming back, and this district finals experience will serve them well.
Exactly.
Even in the 3-0 loss, it's something that
the sting of a loss sometimes stays in your memory come spring when you want to start getting in shape for the next fall season, and then through the summer, and it's the motivator.
That it does.
I know, having coached the Badgers for the season, that they were always talking about getting back into it, getting to this position, and it's awesome to see them here right now and experiencing that. But Newton Falls has the same road to run this coming season, and they should be very proud of the 24-1 season. That is not a small accomplishment.
Well, let me remind Newton Falls fans, 2 years ago Berkshire was 5-17, a team filled with freshmen and sophomores. The next year they went 17-8, played in the district semis, and this year they're 20-5 and they're district champions. So there are the downs of sports and the ups. And right now, Berkshire's on an up. Newton Falls will go home tonight down, but they'll be back.
Yep.
You know, I saw them in this tournament twice, and they played okay against Mineral Ridge. They looked really good against Kirtland, and tonight they just had no answer for what Berkshire brought to the table.
Right. I saw part of the Kirtland game with you, and I would have to say that they were almost as dominating as Berkshire was today on them. They were that way on Kirtland, and so they certainly have the capability to show up for big games. They proved that with their record. They proved it the other night, and tonight was just an off night, looks like, but it is certainly an experience to build off of.
Now Newton Falls being presented their runner-up trophy. Again, Berkshire has 7 of those hanging in its trophy case. Right now they're not too proud of it, but they will be down the road.
That's right.
It's quite an accomplishment. And to do it in the fashion that they did, 24-0.
And you have to say every one of these seniors comes back to Newton Falls and they'll see that trophy in that trophy case and they say, I was a part of it. They'll remember this for the rest of their lives as much as they don't want to think about it right now. And the crowd showing their appreciation for the effort that the Berkshire Badgers put in this evening.
It was a great game. I mean, they played, I don't want to say as well as they could have. They had a couple of errors. No coach is going to walk away from this saying, hey, we were perfect.
Right.
But they were as close as you could have been.
Right. And again, when they were playing, they were not giving anything away. Everything was, they were diving, running plays down.
They were hungry.
I don't think a ball maybe once or twice went directly to the floor without a Badger touching it, and that says a lot for how their defense is withstanding this. But we can't get away from the historical night it is for the Berkshire Badgers. They are not putting a runner-up trophy in their trophy case.
School history made tonight.
Yep.
District champions. They will play in the regional on Tuesday at Barberton, either against Independence or Gilmore Academy. And Berkshire's no stranger to Gilmore. Right. From 2006 until 2010, the Badgers lost to Gilmore in the district finals. So a little bit of bittersweet feeling here tonight that they won the district, but their prize might be to run into those Gilmore Lancers again.
Right, and be able to,
like
get a little payback, I guess.
Like I said, I'm not writing off the Independence Blue Devils. I have a lot of faith in them. They scared me last night in a 5-set match with Lutheran West.
Well, Gilmore has a reputation with Berkshire here. Independence not as much, so that's part of the reason we're emphasizing Gilmore so much. Either way, whoever comes out of that match ahead is going to be a test for the Berkshire Badgers. It's not going to be any kind of a pushover.
Question.
The Berkshire Badgers have to show up with the game much like they did tonight.
Right. I saw both Gilmore and Independence this year, and I can tell you that the matchup, it's going to be key. Number one, Berkshire's going to have to serve well like they did tonight.
Yeah.
And if they can do that, it'll take either Gilmore or Independence out of system a little bit and kind of prevent some of the big hits that they're so accustomed to.
And Jessica Roniak's probably celebrating this a little bit. She was one of the teams that was, I believe she was on one of the teams that came up as a runner-up.
There's C.J. Parker. I'll tell you what, her serving tonight played a big role in this win.
She's giving hugs to the coaching staff.
She earned it.
Yep. I believe she was a 4-year starter too, right?
I remember her as a 7th grader, a little tiny 7th grader. She didn't grow much, but she obviously developed into a great volleyball player.
That's right.
There it is. Well-deserved, Berkshire Badgers, well-deserved. And I know there are a lot of Berkshire volleyball players in the crowd tonight. I see a Gabby Spangler. Who else is out there? But they deserve it.
There's a few from the junior high team as well as the former players. They're all out here to celebrate this momentous occasion.
All those district runner-ups. There's people out there wishing they could have won this. I talked to Kayla Byler earlier today. She said she remembers that last game as a senior, losing to Gilmore, play-by-play. She remembers it.
And this is what it is. There's going to be memories like that forever for these girls. again, they're going to walk past that trophy case and they're going to say, we were part of that team.
They all contributed.
Yeah. And then, of course, there's all their proud parents who have put in hours and hours of watching volleyball, as you can only imagine.
That they have.
And Newton Falls exiting the gym, tears in their eyes, but every reason to be proud of a 24-1 season.
Oh, no doubt.
Tonight wasn't their night. They put in a fantastic performance against Kirtland and just didn't have the answers today.
Taylor Frazee, I gave you guys a shout out earlier. I'll give you another one. Sam Bailey, Taylor Frazee, two of Kirtland's finest, tuning in tonight to watch their conference peers win the district title.
I'm sure they would have loved to be playing Berkshire right now.
No question. And here come the Badger faithful to share in this moment.
That's right.
This momentous, historic moment. First district title in school history. Well deserved. You better smile, Tim. You might be in a few of those pictures. Right. They're really taking a picture of us.
Right.
They're not worried about that.
This is just a smoke screen. Now, this is awesome to see that they succeeded, having been a part of the program for just a year. I wish I could have been part of it for longer, but this is awesome to see them celebrating right now. They certainly worked hard, no question about that, and it's great to see that they pulled it off tonight, and in with such emphasis on dominance there. It's fantastic.
It was dominant. It's funny, you still have the LeBray kids in there.
I think half the group there is from LeBray.
Right.
Yeah,
well, there you have it, folks. The Berkshire Badgers are your 2015 Division III Leavittsburg District Champions. Again, the Badgers will move on to the Barberton Regional. They will open regional play on Tuesday against the winner of the Gilmore Academy Independence game, which will be played tomorrow night out at Elyria High School. Gilmore, I believe, was your state runner-up last year. And Independence has been to the regionals the last 2 years. Gilmore has been there, I believe, the last 12 or 13 years, something like that. So two regional powerhouses that'll go toe-to-toe tomorrow, and the winner of that match will come out and play Berkshire on Tuesday.
Yeah, and we wish best of luck to both of those teams. And
all right, folks.
The Badgers are ready for either one.
That they are. Eh? They showed it tonight. But that's going to do it for us from Leavittsburg from LeBray High School here in Leavittsburg. I'm Steve Hare with OhioVarsity.com. I want to thank Tim Persick for joining me tonight and providing that expert volleyball analysis.
It was my pleasure.
And folks, congratulations once again to the Berkshire Badgers, and thank you all for tuning in to join on to that historic moment. And we'll catch you in our next stream, which will be tomorrow night from West Geauga High School. It'll be a Division III soccer district championship game between the Kirtland Hornets and the Hawken Hawks. So tune in live at 7 o'clock tomorrow, and we'll see you then. Thank you for joining us.